Picking a niche can be very crucial in your journey, whether you're a writer, as long as you're building a brand on the internet, whatever niche you choose to focus on or to position yourself around can be very instrumental as to how far you're going to go and how fast you're also going to grow. All right. And there are a couple mistakes that I made in my own journey when I wanted to pick a niche for myself as a writer. And like I said, this is not just going to be about writing, it's going to be both about writing and different industries, because niching actually affects people across different industries. So in this video, I want to share with you the 7 key mistakes, all right, that I made when choosing a niche. And if you watch this video, you will learn 1 or 2 from it, especially the 7th one, if you desire to make money from your activities as a personal brand on the internet. All right, so without wasting your time, let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to be talking about is the subject between, oh, pick a niche that you're passionate about, or just pick a niche that you're not passionate about. And the first thing I'm going to say is, when you're picking a niche, understand that passion alone does not pay the bills. Now, I get it. The reason why people say pick a niche you're passionate about is because if you do something you're passionate about, there are going to be days when you are discouraged, when you're tired. That passion can fuel you to continue. All right. But you must understand that it is not everything that you're passionate about that is monetizable. And if money is important to you, understand that passion alone. Now, I'm not saying passion is not good. I'm saying passion alone does not pay the bills. All right. So while you are thinking of a niche to position yourself around or to focus on, as you're thinking passion, there are also other factors you must be considering. All right. Is this an in-demand niche? Is there a demand for this skill? Is there a demand for this, service you want to render? All right. And is it also high paying? All right. The people who actually seek for the services of people in this industry, in this niche, do they pay high amounts of money, or they just pay very meager amount of money? All right, very important. Passion alone will not pay your bill. So passion is important, but it is not all that matters when you are picking a niche. All right, the second thing that I have here that I want to talk about is, also understand that when you're picking a niche, you don't have to pick a niche forever. So one of the fears of people is you're thinking, okay, I want to pick a niche and this is like something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. All right, there's a flexibility to the issues around niche. For example, when I started out as a writer, I started out as a business writer, but over the years I've had to move from business writing and did other kinds of writing. I've written in the automotive industry. I've written in the ICT industry, in the IT industry. I've been into different industries along the line. So there is no hard and fast rule as to, oh, okay, so when you pick a niche, you don't get to switch. All right, there's a flexibility to it. You can outgrow a certain niche. You can start out with a niche, and over the course of time, you begin to discover that you have a passion for another niche, or perhaps that industry or that niche may not be in vogue again, especially in this age of artificial intelligence. All right, things are changing so quickly, so fast. If you pick a niche you've started with and you're finding out that for some reasons this niche is not profitable again, or there's something about the niche that just doesn't flow with whom you have now become, by all means, you're free to switch, all right, and find yourself another niche and move to the other niche. All right, so what I'm saying here is, you don't have to pick and stick with a niche forever. All right, you're allowed to change your mind about a niche. If you start with a niche and it's not working for you, or things are not panning out the way you think it would have panned out, you're absolutely free to move to another niche. All right, so there's no hard and fast rule. So do not overthink it. The reason why many people don't start is they're overthinking what niche they should choose. All right, and they think that for 2-3 years they're yet to start building and start growing. All right, just start somehow. All right, over the time you're going to learn what is working, what is not working, and you're permitted to make a switch. All right, if this is making sense, like this video and drop me a comment. All right, if you have any question around niching, drop me a comment and I will attempt your question. The third thing that I wish I knew before I pick the niche is that you should research your audience before you commit. Again, like I said in the beginning, the niche you choose will determine how far you go and how fast you're going to grow. So some people choose niches where the need and the people who actually, the demand for that need is not so wide. it already sets a bar for how far you can grow in that industry. And you need to you need to do some research to ask yourself, all right, what is the demand of this niche like? How wide, how huge is the demand? All right, and beyond that too, if money also is important, you need to ask yourself, how much do people pay for services or for professionals who are in this niche? That is very important. You must do your due diligence before you finally decide on a niche that you are going to to pick. All right, and the other side to this is, all right, picking a niche because you're passionate about, oh, I like to write about automobiles. You just say, oh, I'm going to pick this niche because I like to write about automobiles. You must research to check, are there people who are interested in automotive articles? All right, don't just go on LinkedIn and say, I want to build a brand, all right, and I want to build a brand around XYZ, whatever it is. Yeah, you must have done your research to find out if there are people who are willing to consume such content. All right, you must go do your research. Are there people willing to consume such content? And if there are, what are their interests? What are the problems and the challenges they are facing? What would they want to learn about? What would they want to know about? What content will you create that people are going to be interested in? It's not just about your passion. Understanding that your personal brand is not primarily about you. Your personal brand is about the audience. It is about you, but it's as much about you as it as much about the audience. All right, you're not writing for yourself. If you want to write for yourself, just get a book and journal in it. All right, but the moment you decide to show up online, build a brand online, you want to create content for other people to consume, then you must think about the people you're creating for. What are the questions they need answers to? What are the problems and the challenges they are facing? Because only when you are answering those questions and eating those nails are you going to be a relevant creator or a relevant personal brand. All right, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, the next thing I'm going to talk about, one of the things I wish I knew before I picked a niche, is not all niches are created equal. All right, and you can look at that from different perspectives. You can look at it from the perspective of how much money you make. Not all niche actually pays the same way, and it's quite logical. All right, professions, for example, today don't pay the same way. People who actually are medical doctors don't earn the same amount that lawyers earn. All right, people who are engineers don't earn the same amount that teachers earn. All right, it's the same way with niches too. All right, niches are not created equally. Different niches, will give you different result. So you must be sure what exactly is the result that you desire to achieve, yeah, before you finally commit yourself to a niche. And there are also niches that are just like there are businesses that are seasonal. For example, if you're selling an umbrellas, for example, you're going to probably record more sales in the rainy season, all right, that you're likely going to record during the dry season. So that's like a seasonal business. So there are also niches that are seasonal, and there are niches that are evergreen. All right, let me give you a few examples of evergreen niches. For example, when it comes to writing about health, yeah, that's an evergreen niche because people will always need information about their health. All right, when we talk about what other niche can I give off the top of my head now that are evergreen niches? When you talk about making money, all right, if you're going to position yourself in the money niche, all right, that's an evergreen niche. People want to make money, they want to know how to make more money, how to increase their earning, and all of that. All right, so those are evergreen niche, while some are just they are seasonal and they are not sustainable. So you must consider this when you are thinking about a niche. Competition also varies from one niche to the other. There are some niches that are very saturated already. Too many people are creating in that niche already. You want to ask yourself, do you have what it takes to compete with the people in that space and to have an edge? All right, so those are things that you want to consider. If you're watching this video and you're getting value, like this video. All right, and if this is your first time seeing me, you want to subscribe to this channel. I create video content about how to build a profitable personal brand on the internet. All right, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about, which I wish I knew before I picked the niche, is that your niche should play to your strengths. All right, I think, and this is my school of thought, when you're picking a niche, you want to evaluate yourself first and foremost. What are your interests? I talked about passion earlier when I said passion is not enough. Yeah, but passion is part of the puzzle. You must ask yourself, do you have what it takes to, play in this niche for a long term? Do you have what it takes to survive this niche? All right. So your niche should play to your strength. Don't choose a niche just because it's popular. All right. Choose one because you think you're good at it. Choose one because you have what it takes to, really provide value within that space and to provide value for a long time. All right. So I've seen too many people, pick a niche and then they burn out within a certain point of time because the niche doesn't just fit. It's not their fit. It's not suited to their experience. It's not suited to the things that they are passionate about. So you want to really consider this, all right, when you are picking a niche. All right. If you have any question, all right, so please leave me a question. I will answer all of your questions, when I see them. All right. So the next thing that I wish I knew while picking a niche or before picking a niche is that a micro niche beats a broad one. So, guys, listen to me. Oftentimes, when people want to pick a niche or go into an industry, the thought is always, "Oh, I'm going to be broad in my niche, and yeah, I'll pick a niche that is so broad because that will increase my chances of making so much money." But after, building a brand on the internet for 5 years, I can tell you it doesn't work like that. All right, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. So it is better for you to pick a very narrow niche. So in the business world, there's something we call playing in the blue ocean or the red ocean. All right. So in the red ocean, you're like a small fish in a very vast ocean where there are very large fishes that will easily swallow you. All right. But if you're playing in the blue ocean, you're like a big fish that is in a very small ocean. So you're like the real deal in that space. So oftentimes people think, oh, I'm going to pick a very broad niche because it's going to increase my chance to make a lot of money. But I've learned over time that it's better to be a specialist than to be a generalist. Specialists can demand so much money. All right. And I'm going to ask you a question. Let's say you have to treat your eye, for example. All right. Would you go to an optometrist, a specialist when it comes to eye issue, eye problem, or would you go to a generalist doctor who is at the same time who does, a little bit of optometry, who does a little bit of gynecology, who does a little bit of what else? Yeah, just is a medical doctor who is into all things. I mean, the answer is just plain simple. I will go to a specialist who is, just dedicated to eye care because he knows a lot about, issues relating to the eyes. All right. So when it comes to niching or, niching down or going for a very broad niche, I would say niche down. All right, go for a very slimmer niche. All right, you'll be attracted to the right people. You'll be able to build authority. You'll be known for something specific too, which is what I was saying, when I was talking about being a specialist or being a generalist. And like I said, the seventh one is perhaps the most important, of them all. Your niche, the niche you're going to choose, must have monetization potentials. And I also get this, not everybody who shows up to build a personal brand on the internet is interested in making money, and that's fine. All right, if that's not you, then this number 7 is not for you. But if you want to build a personal brand because you want to make money, or you want to write on the internet because you want to make money, then you must consider monetization before you choose a niche. There are basic questions you want to ask yourself. Can I actually make money in this niche? And how much money can I make? One of the research you want to do is to ask yourself, who are the people that already play in this niche? Yeah, how much do they make in this industry per month? How much do they make annually? That's going to show you what is the ceiling in this particular niche that you are choosing. All right, so this is very important if you want to pick a niche and you desire to make money from from that niche. You want to ask yourself, can you sell products? All right, can you offer services? At some point, can you be able to land partnerships and sponsorships? Can you do some influencing in this gig as you grow your personal brand? Those are very important questions that you want to ask yourself. All right, and if the path is not clear, you want to keep looking. Your niche should support your goals, not just your interests. I didn't show up 5 years ago to start building a personal brand just because I'm interested in giving value and then in just talking for talking's sake. I wanted to give value, teach people, build a personal brand, build authority, and somewhere down the line be able to also monetize all of that attention, to be able to convert all of that attention to money. So if money is important to you, and you want to build a personal brand, then what niche you choose is very important in that equation. And see, as I wrap this up, all right? So choosing a niche is not about finding the perfect answer. It's about making informed decision. And some of the 7 things I've shared with you in this video will guide you as to, oh, what niche should you be choosing, all right? And how do you go about picking a niche? Because like I said down the line, the niche you choose will determine how far you can go and how fast you can grow, all right? So which is why you must be very intelligent in the kind of niche that you choose. So whenever you're watching this video, whether it is now or later, all right, if you have any question about picking a niche, I'd like you to leave me a comment here. Ask your questions in the section. I will attend to all of your questions. And again, do well to like this video, share this video with somebody you think might find the information in this video very helpful. And of course, if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. I will see you in my next video. In the meantime, stay legendary.